Alright, so I forgot to film an intro just because, like, the day of the tournament, I was just really nervous. I had a bunch of nerves running me. I didn't want to mess around with videos. I also didn't film a round one, and you guys didn't really miss much. It wasn't a great round. I ended up scoring +9 for the whole round. At the time, finishing round one, I was, like, top. I was tied for 11th place at the time. So, all in all, you guys didn't really miss much at all. You guys can probably tell, I'm very sunburned. That was not from the tournament. I went to a Cardinals game today, and I should have wore sunscreen because my arms are pretty tan, or not tan, not yet, and they're pretty sunburned, and then obviously my upper thighs are just insanely sunburned. But, so with that being said, this is round two's footage. There's also going to be a voiceover with it, and yeah, if you guys want more tournament vlogs like this, let me know. I'm going to film my next tournament, which is next Monday. Let's roll the voiceover right now. Alright, so we started on hole 12, and I'm throwing my warbird at a little bit of a flex forehand line, and I just didn't get it high enough. I left myself with about a 40 or 50 foot jump putt attempt, and didn't go good. I ended up just tapping it in for my par, which, looking back at it, not great. Hole 13 goes warbird again, a little bit of a flex line. It was looking good, and then it just banged that tree there at about the middle of the fairway. Left myself with about a 40 footer. Attempted a little throw in, actually, and I just was a little short and tapped it in for my par, which I'm not complaining on this course. Alright, hole 14, I'm using my Firebird, Champion Firebird, just getting around the corner, getting a little skip into it. I did a perfect drive, ended up myself with about a 60-foot little upshot with my zone, and then I went ahead and just tapped it in for my par, which with that hole, I'm more than happy with. Alright, moving on to hole 15. I wish I had my drive on, but my mom didn't have my phone at the time. But this is a par 4, 444 feet, the tightest tunnel probably on the course. You have to make it through. You have this huge opening, and then it goes to a narrow tunnel, then down to this little area. I ended up leaving myself with about probably about a 70-foot upshot. And with this upshot, I left myself with about a 10 to 15-foot putt for my birdie, which I am more than happy with taking a birdie on this hole. There's only 3 birdies, and I was one of them. Moving on to hole 16, you're able to kind of just grip it and rip it, throw it as hard as you can, and put yourself as close to the basket. It's a par 4. I used my Z Plastic Zeus, and I ended up just releasing a little too early, not enough ante on it, and I just ended up going straight into the to the woods a little bit. And I used my warbird on this one, and I put myself a little bit too right of the basket, but I had my confidence that day. Like I said, round 2 was good, and I went ahead and I shot it in for my birdie there. Going on hole 17, this is also a really narrow gap. I was using my Thrasher, hoping to throw in an ante and then have it just flip up and travel, but it didn't go good. I used my Zeus as an upshot, and I actually put myself, I'd say about 40 feet from the basket, which is really crazy with that. So I went ahead and did a little step putt, just high of it, and I went ahead and I just tapped it in for my par, which I'm more than happy with that hole. Hole 18 is another par 4. You can kind of just grip it and rip it. It's about 644 feet. Kind of the same thing right here. I just didn't put enough ante on it, really still too early. I was in the shrubs for my second shot. You can see I wasn't too pleased by that shot. Ended up kicking my warbird out. It's actually a pretty good kick out. This is for my birdie right here, and I'm pretty far from the basket. I'd say about, 360, 380 from the basket. A little too much flex on that one. Ended up about, I'd say, 70 feet short from the basket. Just, did a little upshot. A little too wide, in my opinion, but it actually ended up rolling back to the basket pretty nicely, and I went ahead and just tapped it in for my bogey, I believe. Alright, going to hole 1, it's another tight, narrow gap. I was debating a forehand and a backhand. I ended up doing my forehand buzz, just having it get down the fairway, and then just laying it up for my par, because this hole, there's a little bit of a death hill if you go past the basket, so you see me right here, just lay it up. Was not going to run that, and just tapped it in for my par. Hole 2 is actually a really hard hole. It's super short, but it's hard. I ended up just parking the hole. Use my buzz, just throw it down there, hope it hit. It didn't hit a tree, and it did not hit a tree. Hole 3 is one that you just gotta kind of rip it and hope you make it up the hill. And I did end up making it up the hill, and I'm fine with it. You can see my face. I'm fine with it. I went out to do a jump putt attempt, and I just put it left of the basket, so I went ahead and just tapped it in for my par, which I was more than happy taking a par on hole 3 because I did a bogey last round. 4 didn't get my drive. I ended up in the just left of the the shrubs, trying to kick out. Ended up putting myself right back into the woods, and did a little jump putt attempt for my par, and just missed it. Not enough power on it, and I just went ahead and tapped it in for my my bogey right here.
Hole 5, I was trying a tough line. You can't even see the line, but it's a forehand line, and it's a par 4. And I hit a tree, a late tree, and I kicked out to a decent spot, to be honest. And, yeah, you'll see me here just kind of laying it up for my par. But I kind of went this one a little too wide, and it hit a tree, and it just kind of fell straight down. Left myself with kind of a tricky upshot. There's bushes in my face, and I just put myself way too left. And I went ahead and bidded it for my par, and I just went too short. So I went ahead and took a bogey on that one. Hole 6 now. I went a little too left on with my Zeus. Early release. I released it too low. It wasn't great. I used my Zeus again for my upshot to get out of the woods. And I left myself with actually just a tap and par, which is pretty nice. Hole 7, I usually go the straight route, but I went ahead and did a forehand route with the flex with the Warbird. A little too wide, I'd say. Not enough height. But I ended up, leaving myself with a decent putt for my birdie. I just went short of it again. That seems to be my problem a lot today. But, yeah, tapped it in for my par. Hole 8, it's a low ceiling. It's straight. I used my buzz. I got a late tree kick right there. Back to the fairway. I'm fine with it. I went ahead and, just laid it up for my par. A little too far left. A little bit of a scary putt. But I ended up making it for my par, which I am more than happy with taking a par on this hole as well. Hole 9 is very tricky. I used my Thrasher, try to flip it up and over, actually, and I went too high and not left enough. Ended up being in the right of the fairway, and this was an amazing, I don't know how I got it to the basket. This should be a par 4. I literally almost made it in the basket. I tap in for my par. It's like a birdie feeling. Hole 10 should be pretty simple, but I didn't put enough flex on it at all, and it was like 220-foot shot. I shouldn't have missed it. But, yeah, I left myself with a jump putt, just left of it, not enough power on it, and tapped it in for my par right there. Final hole of the tournament, I have an absolute smash of a drive right here. Use my Zeus, low ceiling, 600 feet, and, yeah, par 4. I just smashed it about 415 feet with the low ceiling. It's crazy. Leave myself a nice little, 200-foot upshot with my Zeus, just a nice little skip up there. And it was a really good shot. I thought it was kind of bad at first. I was a little upset with it. But ended up being right here, and I just completely whiffed the putt. Just super low, super short, not good. Tapped in for my par.
Alrighty, so that wraps it up. Yeah, round 2 went much, much better. I'm going to put up a screenshot of what I placed right here. As you can see, I placed top 5. I tied 5th. My round, I ended up shooting a +1. Which was better than anybody else in my division that day. That round was just better than anybody except for round 2 anyways. Round 1, someone shot an even round, but yeah. So round 2, I shot a million times better. Ended up tying for 5th place, which means I do get invited to the Nationals. And I also get a cash payout, but they don't really pay me in cash. They give me a gift card, but they haven't emailed me the gift card yet. So whenever that comes in, probably in my next video, I'll tell you how much that was. I'll kind of calculate. I think all in all so far, I've made like $170 total. With MA4, with only MA4 tournaments so far, I've cashed out about, or not cashed out, but gotten about $140 and $60 of that is actual cash, and then the other bit is just gift card value. But yeah, so I ended up tying 5th place, getting invited to the Nationals. I did super good in my second round. I'm a little bummed out about it because I definitely could have gotten 1st place. I know I shouldn't be bummed out about it. I'm not really. I'm still proud of myself for doing 5th place. But I don't know, something about walking up to the tournament right when it starts, or even that whole first round, it's just so much nerves get into you, and like, I don't know, I just was not confident stepping up to the plate, and then, not the plate, I don't know, I was just watching baseball today. Stepping up to the tee off, I just didn't feel confident with my shots. Every disc I picked, I was questioning it. I didn't know what the disc was going to do when I do know what the disc was going to do, but in my head, I was overthinking it, right? So I just didn't do good in the first round because of that, but in the second round, I had that mentality of just having confidence. Stepping up to the tee pad, you know what you're doing. You can trust your discs. They're in your bag for a reason. Just go ahead and throw them, So I went with that kind of mindset for the second round, and obviously ended up doing good. But, yeah, that wraps up today's video. If you like it, make sure you guys subscribe. You guys drop a like. It's totally free. Helps me out a shit ton. And, yeah, let me know if you guys want more videos like this. Without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay lovely. It's been your boy, Cake6 Rising. Peace out.